Welcome to Nanda Academy. Let's revise shares and dividend chapter in just 15 to 20 minutes. In this video, first we will cover different concepts such as what is NAV value, face value and market value of a share. What is at par, premium and discount. How to get the investment, how to get dividend, and using investment and dividend calculate the return percentage or profit percentage. There are different solved problems, Specimen 2026 and PYQ 2025. So what is the face value? What is the nominal value? It is the original value of the share as stated by the company. Dividend is always, remember, dividend is always calculated on NAV value. Market price is the price at which share is bought or sold in the market. Now there are three concepts: at par, premium and discount. As you know, this market value keeps on changing. So if it is equal to the face value, then it is at par. If this market value is greater than your face value, then share is purchased at premium price, and if this market value is less than face value, then we say we get to share at discounted price. Now what is dividend? Dividend is the portion of profit that the company shares with all shareholders. So it is our income. So whenever income is asked, you have to understand it is the dividend, that is the profit shared with shareholders. Now what is investment? It's number of shares we purchase and what is the market value of one share. We purchase share with the market value. So what is our investment? Number of shares into market value of one share. What is the income or dividend received? It is the number of shares into rate of dividend per share, dividend percentage into your face value of one share or your nominal value of a share. Now what is return percentage? It is total income received divided by on how much investment we received. So income upon investment into 100. Before we begin to specimen and PYQs, let's solve a simple sum. So Rakhi invested rupees 12,500 in shares of a company with 6% dividend per annum. If she bought rupees 100 shares for rupees 62.50 each, find her income from the investment. So total how much money she has invested? Rupees 12,500. Cost of one share is what? Rupees 62.50. So number of shares purchased will be will be 12,500 divided by 62.50, which will come as 200 shares. Now what income on the investment? Income is what? Number of shares into your dividend percentage into NAV value or face value of one share. So it will become 200 into your dividend percentage. Number of shares are 200. Dividend percentage is how much? 6%. And your NAV value will be 50 rupees. So got it? How to do it? Now your answer will be 12. 12 5 is 60 and this rupees 600. So how much investment or what is the dividend or income on is rupees 600. Now let's solve MCQ from the Specimen 2026. Sum of money required to buy 50 shares and what is the price of those shares are 38 0.50. So now if you say this is 40 rupees share, we are getting at 38.50, then that is at discounted price. So 38.50 into 50 shares, it will get the 1925. Money required is 1925. In this sum, Mrs. Kaur invested rupees 8,000 in buying rupees 100 shares, and company is paying 6% dividend at rupees 80. So 100 rupees shares Mrs. Kaur has purchased at rupees 80. So that is your discounted price. So now after a year she sold these shares at rupees 75 each and invested the proceeds including the dividend received during the first year in buying rupees 20 shares, paying 50% dividend and rupees 27 each. So let's divide this sum in two parts. First, what she has done? She has purchased rupees 80 shares and invested rupees 1000 rupees. So now the dividend, first what do we have to calculate? Dividend received where during the first year. So now let's solve this A part. Number of shares purchased will be what? Number of shares purchased, money invested rupees 8,000, cost of one share is what? Rupees 80. So number of shares will be 100 shares. Now these 100 shares, dividend received is what? Dividend received is equal to 100 number of shares into rate is what? 6%. And what is the NAV value of the share is 100. So what will be the dividend received? 600. Got this much? So first, now this, she sold each share at rupees 75. How many shares purchased? Rupees 100 shares. So 100 shares at 75 rupees, how much she will earn? 7500, including dividend, this 8100, this total amount rupees 8100 amount is invested in purchasing new value. So this 20 rupees share purchase at premium, that is 27 rupees. Now how many shares she will receive? 8100 divided by 27. So how many shares, new shares will get? Rupees 300. Sorry, number of shares will be 300. So you have got the answer. Number of shares purchased by her using total proceeds, it will be 300. This is your answer. In PY 2025, it has been asked, a man has invested in a company paying 12% dividend. So now if we say NAV value is 100, it is giving me 12% dividend. I have just purchased one share and market value of one share will be 1 into market value, and this is return percentage is 10%. Return percentage is income upon investment. So now what market value I am getting? It is 120 rupees. So now, and my what NAV value I have considered? Rupees 100. So now if my market value is more, so what I will say? My share will be above par value. So what option you should choose? Above par. A man bought rupees 200 shares at premium 25%. That means 100 rupees share you are getting at 25%. So what will be the value of 200? 200 into 125 divided by 100, you will get the cost market price as rupees 250. Now what is the dividend percentage received? Dividend percent and return percentage is given as 5% on investment. So return percentage is equal to income upon investment into 100. So what is your income? Let's assume number of share purchases X, dividend rate assume R divided by 100. What is the NAV value? Rupees 200 into 100 divided by your investment X into number of market price is 250 rupees and this is 5. So X gets cancelled. So you will get R over here as 25 upon 4, which is 6.25. Now third is number of shares purchased if the dividend is 1000 rupees. 1000, number of shares assume X, rate of dividend 6.25 and your NAV value. NAV value will be rupees 200. So X is what? 1000 divided by 625. Therefore X will come as rupees 80. Number of shares purchased will be 80. Now this percentage return we have to calculate on rupees 100 share, or 12% is the discount and 12% is the dividend and 4% is discount. So what is return percentage? Is income upon investment into 100. So if my number of share is 1, my share dividend is 12, my NAV value is 100 and my investment is 1 into 96. 12 ones are 1, 12 eights are 96 and this will be 12.5. So my answer should be 12.5. So rupees 100 share of a company giving 10% dividend are selling at rupees 150. This is my market value. My dividend is 10% and this is rupees 100 rupees share is my NAV value. Investment is rupees 18,000 and he sells 80% of his shares after 1 year. Find the number of shares purchased. Number of shares purchased is what? Investment. Total investment is 18,000. Number of share is X. One share cost is 150. So number of shares will be, therefore X is equal to, number of shares is equal to 18,000 divided by 150, which will become 120. So number of shares purchased 18. The number of shares are sold. Number of shares is what? 80% of his share sold. So 80% of 120 shares will become what? 96. So how many shares he has sold? 96 shares. Now third, C part will become what? Find the annual income from remaining 20% of his share. So now 80% is 96 shares. So remaining 20% shares will be what? 120 minus 96, that is 24 shares are remaining. On this 24 shares, we are getting how much dividend? 10%. So my income will what? Income is equal to number of shares into my rate of dividend into my NAV value. So now what will be my income will then? Rupees 2. So whatever I have explained you, this is the way you are going to solve it in your exam. So you write what are the given values, what are the formulas, calculate the number of shares, calculate the 20%, 80% of those shares, and what is the your return or annual income. Thank you very much for watching this video and subscribe the channel for looking more such videos.